From the University of Southeastern Philippines, this is Jasmine Barcoma Alivi at your service. Today, we will going to discuss about traditional economies. And I believe after this presentation, you will learn a lot. Let's start!
Traditional economy. Traditional economy is a system in which economic decisions are based on customs and beliefs. This type of economic system is generally found in rural or farm-based areas. People will make what they always made and will do the same work their parents did. It is also known as subsistence economies. These are small and do not generate profit because they rely on trading and bartering for goods and services. These goods and services are influenced by local values, beliefs, and customs, consisting mainly of traditional activities such as fishing, farming, and hunting. These products of these industries are generally used completely, meaning there is no excess or surplus. Traditional economies are typically found in developing countries with large rural areas and underdeveloped industry. Barter is a system which refers to the system of exchange where goods and services are exchanged directly for other goods and services. For example, rice and vegetables. There are five characteristics in traditional economy. First, traditional economies center on a family or tribe. They use traditions gained from the elders' experiences to guide day-to-day life and economic decisions. Second, a traditional economy exists in a hunter-gatherer and nomadic society. These societies cover vast areas to find enough food to support them. They follow the herds of animals that sustain them, migrating with the seasons. These economic hunter-gatherers usually compete with other groups for scarce natural resources. This is little need for trade since they all custom and consume and produce the same things. Third, traditional economies produce only what they need. There is rarely surplus or leftovers. That makes it unnecessary to trade or create money. Fourth, when traditional economies do trade, they rely on barter. It can only occur between groups that don't compete. For example, a tribe that relies on hunting exchanges food with a group that relies on fishing because they must trade meat for fish. There is no need for cumbersome currency. And the last, traditional economies start to evolve once they start farming and settle down. They are more likely to have a surplus, such as bumper crops, that they use for trade. When that happens, the groups create some form of money that facilitates trading over long distance. What is traditional mixed economies? When traditional economies interact with market or command communities, things change. Cash takes on a more important role. It enables those in the traditional economy to buy better equipment. That makes their farming, hunting, or fishing more profitable. When that happens, they become a traditional mixed economy. So now, let's go to the advantages of a traditional economy. It may seem that this type of economy is not very advantageous, but its members to benefit in several ways. The first of these benefits is that people within the society understand what their production rules are. This understanding creates less competition among individuals because they understand what resources they will receive for their services. Because social rules are based on local customs, members of traditional economies accept that their position has contributed to maintaining a functioning society for centuries. In addition, oftentimes economic decisions are made by the community as a whole or by a family or a tribal leader. Another often overlooked advantage to the traditional economy is that it is less environmental destructive than industrial society. And it is less environmentally destructive than industrial societies. Next, disadvantages of the traditional economy. Traditional economies are vulnerable to changes in nature, especially the weather. For this reason, traditional economies limit population growth. When the harvest or hunting is poor, people starve. They are also vulnerable to market economies. Those societies often consume the natural resources traditional economies depend on or wage war. Where do traditional economies exist? The Inuit people of the Arctic, such as Greenland, Canada, and Alaska, will continue to practice traditional economies, and among Australian Aborigines and some isolated tribes in the Amazon. In Greenland, for example, fishing and shrimping are important economic activities. In other areas, hunting and raising reindeer are common practices. Hunting is a critical part of the society, and when one person is in hunting party is successful, the meat is divided among all members of the party. Historic traditional economies. Because these subsistence economies are vulnerable to external influence, they are becoming scarcer around the world. The indigenous people of North America once existed on a traditional economy that centered on hunting, fishing, and gathering. That's all for this day. Thank you and mabuhay. Once again, this is Jasmine. Thank you so much for listening.